That was annoying, right? Then why did the filmmaker stress upon it? Cinema is an audio-visual art form, and sound is an intrinsic part of storytelling. Sound designing can be used to elucidate the character's state of mind or even dictate the mood of a scene. One of the most iconic usages of sound design is the scene in The Godfather in which Michael Corleone plans to kill Solezzo and McCluskey.
David.
As Michael walks into the restroom as per his plan, his mind is filled with reluctance, hesitation, and anxiousness, and this is brilliantly represented through the sound of an elevated train passing by the restaurant. Here is legendary sound designer Walter Murch talking about the process.
Under normal circumstances, this probably would have had some kind of tense music. Another director certainly would have put some kind of something. But Francis and I thought, well, it probably needs something to help the audience. And I knew that there were many elevated trains. So I thought, well, that could be in the atmosphere. And so we recorded elevated trains, and particularly recorded elevated trains going around a corner and coming to a stop. And the wheels, as they do that, make this incredibly wonderful, from a sound point of view, screech.
Similarly, in Lynne Ramsay's We Need to Talk About Kevin, Eva, played by Tilda Swinton, shares a very strained relationship with her son, Kevin. The film's opening scene, showing a happier and younger self of Eva, has the sound of 1,000 people cheering. But as the scene cuts to the present, older self of Eva, the sound gradually fades out. Visually, the film retains its color palette to tell that it's the same person we are witnessing. But the sound tells us that her personality has been tamed down to a humdrum self. The transition from her past to present is bound by the sound of the massacre her son committed. Likewise, her disturbed, restless mind, especially in the first act, when the viewers are yet to ascertain her emotional burden, in multiple scenes, Eva is surrounded by agitating noises. Many everyday sources of sound are utilized to reflect her muddled psyche and disarrayed life. In an essay on the sound design of this film, sound researcher Brett Ashley elaborates on the feminine perspective of the story and how sound helps in achieving it. One of the examples Brett gives is the scene in which a clearly unhappy pregnant Eva walks out of a locker room filled with pregnant ladies, and a bunch of happy, cheering young girls pass by. The scene and sound juxtapose her state of mind at that point in the narrative. In an interview, sound designer Paul Davis, who worked on all of Lynne Ramsay's films, including We Need to Talk About Kevin, spoke about the influence of Robert Bresson on the filmmaker. Robert Bresson's A Man Escaped is a classic example of sound design. Take this scene during the climax, where a couple of prisoners are trying to escape the prison, and this sound of a guard doing rounds on a cycle acts as a threat to their plan. On these lines, towards the end of the film, when it is revealed to us that Eva's husband and daughter have been murdered by their son, the sound of water sprinklers is put to a terrifying effect. It proves that sound indeed controls the mood of a scene. So when you watch a movie next time, listen. And also,
Merry Christmas.
subscribe for more such mediocre takes.